CollectAWrestlePalooza. CollectAWrestlePalooza.
What's up, wrestling collectors? It's Tom from CollectAWrestlePalooza. Today's hobby tips and thoughts video is going to focus on 3 things that I've been thinking about that might help you to stay healthy in this business. It's a tough business, it's a hard hobby, it's easy to get sucked into things, it's easy to spend too much money. I know we've all been through it, we've all gotten addicted, we've all had things we've done that we probably, looking back, would not have done. So I'm going to be talking about 3 disciplines. I'm going to call them tips that I think might help you in your way of thinking about the hobby to make it sustainable, to make it healthy, to make it something that's going to benefit you ongoing. So the first tip has to do with FOMO. FOMO stands for fear of missing out. It's prevalent in the hobby. So you started your business, you have a strategy, you know what you want to do, you're trying to make some money, you're trying to improve your PC, whatever your goals are, something comes up and you start experiencing FOMO. So you might be looking online, you might be looking at a particular item, a particular auction, a particular new set of cards, and you say to yourself, I need to get in on this before it's too late. Now, there's no such thing as a short-term flip or a short-term investment that has no risk. There's also a lot of reward there, but there's always going to be a lot of risk in these short-term plays. So don't get trapped into thinking that if you miss out on something and it ends up exploding, that it was a failure not to jump in. Because first of all, hindsight is always 20/20. And second of all, there are always going to be new FOMO opportunities. There's always going to be a new thing. You can miss out on an auction and then tomorrow you're going to find an even better auction. You're going to miss out on a set of cards and then tomorrow you're going to find an even better set of cards. I mean, think about it. This hobby has been going on since the 50s and it's really gathered steam as a real business adventure probably since the 80s or 90s. And there have been new opportunities every single day during that time. So if you miss out on something, move on and don't get trapped into making decisions that are so impulsive you don't know what you're doing. Now, if you have the expertise and you have the gut and you're willing to take the risk, by all means, jump in, do it, have fun with it, enjoy the ride. But if you do miss out on something, don't internalize it, just move on. There's going to be a new opportunity tomorrow. And having that discipline has helped me to stay true to who I am as a collector and not jump into things that I don't really want to be involved in. Number 2 tip is to limit the amount of time that you spend on social media. Social media is not the hobby. Social media is a documentation of the hobby. It's a way to be an ambassador to the hobby. It's a way to communicate, to make friends, to see what other people are doing. It's a great tool, but it isn't the hobby. The hobby is collecting. The hobby is buying and selling. The hobby is enjoying. The hobby is spending time with your cards, sorting your cards, marketing your cards, all of that stuff. And social media, while it's a great tool towards that, it is not the hobby. The likes you get, the shares you get, all of that stuff, again, it's great if you're a content creator, but if you are a card collector, then the social media does not have to be the focus of your day. You can limit the amount of time and stick to that. You know, maybe have 1 or 2 things you want to do on Twitter in the morning, 1 or 2 things you want to do on Instagram in the afternoon, 1 or 2 things you want to do on YouTube or Facebook in the evening. Do those things and then get out. Make a few comments, retweet a few things, and then stop. Now, if you're a content creator, if you're a marketer, and that is your trade, by all means, spend all day on social media, do what you need to do to grow your business. That's great. But if that's not your thing, don't get trapped, because ultimately what it's going to do is to make you get too focused on your likes, your followers, that as an indication of love and success in the hobby. And it isn't. The indication of love and success in the hobby is how you feel about what you did and how you process what you're doing. That's what's ultimately going to make you succeed and make you sustainable. Tip number 3, stick to a budget. If you can't stick to a budget, you're going to have problems. know what your budget is and have that in mind and stick to it no matter what. And this goes back to the first tip about FOMO. So if you have a budget and there's something out there that you just think is a great opportunity, but it's a little bit over your budget, be aware of that. Be true to yourself and be true to what you can spend. If there's an opportunity that you think is the next best thing and it's way over your budget, my advice is to steer clear, because there's going to be something tomorrow, there's going to be something in the near future that's in your budget that's going to be just as good as an opportunity. So know what your means are. Your means are not defined by what other people are doing. Your means are defined by what you have in your account, by what your budget is, what you feel comfortable with. And ultimately, that's going to be different for different collectors, and that's okay. We're all different. We all have different budgets. We all have different means. And success isn't flipping something and making $1,000. Success is sticking to your plan and staying within your budget and meeting your goals. That's what it is. It's not risking it all and winning. That's gambling. That's something entirely different. It can be very addictive, and it can ruin a lot of people. It can make people leave the hobby early because they made a risk they couldn't sustain and they have to sell everything. And you don't want that. You want to do this for the rest of your life, and you want it to be a healthy and happy part of the rest of your life. So those are 3 tips that have helped me to stay true to myself. They might help you. If they do, please be sure to, give me a like and your comments below. That always is nice to see and gives me pleasure and makes me feel good about the content creation side of the hobby for me. So again, this is CollectAWrestlePalooza. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great week.
CollectAWrestlePalooza. CollectAWrestlePalooza.